Checkpoint and chill.
Oh guys, the Groovy Mule, Mr. Binary Numb,
I have an Xbox Elite controller.
The Wigan 1984,
What a knob.
Mr. Elvin Rush,
Oh no, my beer's gone everywhere.
and Mr. Trunks.
Sure you drank tons of pineapple juice before.
Mr. Golden Boy.
Give me a shotgun and a shovel.
Welcome to DZR, Checkpoint and chill.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Checkpoint and Chill is live from the bedroom. And that's courtesy, of course, of our good friend there, Weezer. How are you, Weezer?
Doing good, guys. Happy to join you. Excited about it.
Yeah.
We're the first guys. I can say you're the first guys that have been in my bed with me. It's a little creepy that it's four of us, but, you know.
It looks like a big bed though.
Oh, yeah, there's plenty of room for all four of us.
Elvin, you've got like there's something in my back. Can you move? Roll over a little
It's
bit.
all right. It'll only be there for about 30 seconds. You'll be there.
It's really uncomfortable. But yeah, that's awesome, Weezer. And you've been jumping around. You've been playing with Divisions. You've been playing with a bit of PlayStation VR. You've been doing all sort of things. So we'll hopefully talk some about that today and more.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes.
And of course, your bedroom antics, no doubt. Binary Numb is in the house, and he's got his monocle on today.
I'm being sophisticated.
Yeah. You look all right. I mean, I
But
give
saw
you.
each other 6 hours ago.
Yeah.
I know. What
Love
are you
is
on? Like
real.
you on a podcast marathon?
Well, he's got Meet the Streamer as well, so he's just. Binary doesn't sleep, so he just.
It's all about the work.
He logs into Google Hangouts and hits record. That's what he does for a living.
Yeah. On his break, he goes and does some work, or some paid for work at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And Brian, you've been busy at work. You've also been busy, no doubt, on the next iteration of what is to become of DZR. So that's floating around in September. Yeah.
Oh, are we touching on that? Yeah, we are. So we, as everyone's probably noticed, DZR gaming is now starting to appear everywhere. So this is our evolution from, we found that we're starting to deliver content in a lot of different areas. So it's time to fucking grow up, boys. And
Whoa! What? Nobody told me that.
So we got a lot in the pipeline. There'll be new stuff, new podcasts. And one important thing though is our podcasts themselves they're going to become independent shows. So it's all become over the next couple of weeks, but it's really important for everybody that does like all these shows that we do. That you follow the links and subscribe to each one individually. So that you don't miss anything. It's just easier to manage
so we
that
don't
way.
have a slow and hopeless death.
Yeah, and it's just so we can track each show individually and make sure that we everything has their own tags in iTunes and things like that. 'Cause, we don't think we're doing the shows good enough justice by having them in the same stream. So
It's
split them out.
It's a catch-22, isn't it? Like, do you put them in the mainstream that we know they're going to get because obviously that's our population and the people we're trying to reach as well. But then do you flood those people with casts that they may not download all of them? Maybe they have a choice. And
well, that's the whole thing. So we're at we've got 5 different shows which deliver 5 very different areas within a gamer's life as to what they're really interested in. So it's just a way of just us being a little more clearer in our marketing and strategy, and our new website as well will lead you. You'll understand a little bit more with the new website. Into your own, you have your own environment, and it falls well into that. I'm not going to say much more. So
yeah, if you look behind next to the jumping castle, I've got a whiteboard that has a strategic plan written on it. So maybe during the show, Binary, we can sort of do a quick crossfade.
Yeah, we'll do a quick
to the
whiteboard.
strategic plan.
I'm trying to figure out the meta for the podcast. Very nice.
It's just got one of these drawn on it. It's not very. It's not very detailed, but Elvin Rush knows a lot about strategic plans. You know, I think you live strategic plans, don't you, Elvin?
What?
How are you, my friend? How are you?
Yeah, I'm alright. I'm just plodding on. I'm just
Yeah?
paranoid I've not clicked go on something, so I'm looking at about 3 screens going, yeah, everything looks good. They can hear us. You know it's all in about an hour and a half we're gonna realise it all went to shit, but right now, it's all good.
Do you guys remember the day when Elvin Rush went from, Elvin Rush connoisseur of Discord to Elvin Rush AV masterman? Like, it was literally like, was it the first Gear Up weekend? I think it was the first Gear Up weekend. And we go, oh, we need to do this stuff. And Elvin's like, yeah, I got it. And I'm like, what are you going to do? and it, credit to you, my friend. It just works superfluous.
Yeah, well, I did give up halfway through, but the idea was that I'm great at I'm an ideas man.
And of course, everyone knows about your rather large upstream.
Yeah, I've had backflow issues, so I'm just trying to catch up.
Don't cross the streams. But, yeah, very good, very good. So, guys, it is a new day, and as I said, I promise you, it's probably the last time we'll talk about strategic plans on Checkpoint and Chill. But, of course, as we said, it's important that we've got a guest here. We've got a few things we want to talk about. I want to have a chat about VR. I want to talk a little bit about the recent PlayStation stuff. But before we get to that, you may have noticed one thing. Wigan's not here.
Oh.
I heard Pablo's got him tied up in his garage.
Wigan, is it RIP? Is he dead? I think he's dead.
Yeah, I think so.
I think he's dead. It's was it alcohol poisoning? I think it's been confirmed.
Ice cream poisoning, maybe.
Ice cream poisoning. Right. So he's away. Where is he, guys? Is he in some coastal town in the middle of nowhere?
Yep.
He's
Somewhere.
there
I
for
don't
what?
actually know where he is. You know, Evan, don't you?
Well, yeah, have I got access to that part of my brain? No, but I think he's down in Cornwall. He's certainly down there somewhere, isn't he?
It's down
Good
in the
old
west,
Cornwall.
west coast.
Yeah, he's down there
Yeah.
somewhere.
Weezer knows Cornwall, don't you, Weezer?
Sure, no. Though when I did find out that Wigan wasn't going to be on, I was actually going to get my dry erase board, and I was going to draw like the brick wall behind me, so it would somewhat appear like I was Wigan out in his garage.
Yeah,
With the wall behind it.
not a bad plan.
You know, it's Cornwall. It's right next to Twatshire. I always like saying Twatshire.
Cornwall.
Twat.
Yeah, you know Twatshire.
Twat.
I do know. I know twat. I don't know twat.
I wouldn't want to share it though, would you?
Go with it, Sharon.
I know.
But no, he's busy. He's holidaying, having fun. But more importantly, he said on the Discords, of course, that he is going for 10 days, and he's not touching a video game.
He's touching one. He's been stroking his screen, probably watching videos on YouTube, hasn't he? He's been like, oh, PC.
Well, I heard he hit a new low, and what he actually did was bought some magazines.
Yeah, well, that's
Video
a different
game.
story.
I should qualify.
It's going retro.
So someone's going back to hard paperback media. Now that is a man of desperate measures. But I did tell you guys, I told everyone in the UK to pool their resources, get him a 3DS, Mario Kart, Fire Emblem, and express post that son of a. And I suppose no one did.
No.
Do you think he's going to
He's
come back?
He's spending time with his kid and his wife and the family.
What?
Why would he want to do anything but just? Yeah, he wouldn't. No, I'm not surprised, but he doesn't want distraction from that. Nobody's convinced, and he'll probably be saying no as well if he could listen to this.
Yeah, you got. How many kids have you got, Elvin? You got a few.
One or two. We found a few today while we've been out. So we just brought them home. You know, like people take stray cats in, we just take kids in. That sounds really bad, but We don't really take Stray Kids. We got enough of
Come on.
our own.
All the Stray Kids watching, they're going to be a
It's
knock on the door.
twins. If you had twins every time you had a baby, you'd have a shitload of kids,
Yeah.
wouldn't you? You'd have loads of kids. It's just the
You
way it
know-
works.
You're a genetic specialist, basically.
Something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
But we're very interested and very pleased, as I said, to welcome Weezer to the cast today. So thank you again for joining us. But we do have to qualify. What about Google Hangouts features? With all the cool buttons.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
there we go.
Every time you talk, they try and interrupt you.
Hello.
Not.
For no reason whatsoever. But of course, Weezer. See, I'm out. Dead air. I love dead air. Makes good radio. But Weezer, we need to qualify this. This is always the question for every new guest on the show. Your combination of sexual experience and game experience.
Definitely happened.
It could be inside the game world. It could be outside the game world.
No, I'm sure I've had the missus dabble in some fellatio while I'm playing some NHL. I'm sure that's happened on a few different occasions.
It's just a fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's
About
the best of both worlds. It's the two things you love. I mean,
So, do you want to play some tonsil hockey?
I'm just getting a flashback to Halo Fellatio, eh, guys?
Yeah.
okay.
Hell-
See, that
Hallatio,
sounds much better. Hallatio.
Yeah. And of course, most interestingly, you've I went onto the, if you haven't done this already, you can jump onto your local PlayStation site and register for VR at your local community exhibition hall, shopping center, or whatnot. Yeah, that's been a big option, and people will be able to jump on and do that and book your test. Now, Weezer, did you actually do that, or did you go to some sort of special event, or what did you do to get into PSVR?
Here in the States, the local Best Buy stores, you can get on. There's a PlayStation website where you can put in your zip code here, and it'll basically tell you the closest one. The one that I went to was about an hour away, but we were going that way, so made a day of it. I went. For anybody that is interested, they won't let you do it if you're not 13. So all of us are in the clear. But the lady basically told my son, who was excited to try it. He's 10, and she said that PlayStation wants people to be at least 13 years old because they say that your eyes are not developed enough for the VR yet. So he wasn't able to demo it. But
So that poses the question: when you buy it, are you going to let your child use it?
Yeah, that is a tough question. I mean, all of us with kids know how that's going to go. It's not going to go over very well.
Like, you're sitting in a lounge room with a helmet going, whoa, oh shit, wow.
This is
And your kid's
amazing.
Like, I can't play that.
Yeah, that's just setting you up for some antics, isn't it? It's like, I'm sorry, but
definitely.
you can't do it. And some kid outside you just getting his ass out and taking a selfie. Like, look, I'm 3
And by
inches from
antics,
his
you mean
face.
playing games at 11:30 p.m. only. But wow. And so, Weezer, so you're saying there that so you got in there, you couldn't. So what did you do with your child while you were VRing? Did you do something responsible?
It's a valid question.
Now, my wife and my other two daughters, I have 3 kids, so my other the rest of the clan was there as well. So they just hung out and watched Daddy look like an idiot for about 10 minutes while I checked out.
Let's go, dear. Daddy's gonna play video games.
Yeah. Well, that's totally what my wife is like. As we're standing there, and luckily we got there, and there was absolutely no line. There was 3 guys in front of me, and she was like, "Do you know how stupid you look doing that?" I was like, "That I don't care about that at all. That has nothing to do with it." So,
Did they video it?
it was good fun. They did, though. That will not be going up on Twitter because they were correct. I look pretty stupid doing it.
Oh man, I want to see that.
You should put it up on Twitter. That'd be funny.
Oh, I mean,
Give it.
what? You got pictures?
Yeah,
We
I
need
had
to
a
see
picture of
with your helmet on.
Yeah.
I had a
Let's
picture
have a
of the
look at
banner.
Yeah. You've got to put a
Look at
picture
my helmet.
up. Yeah, yeah. Look at my helmet face. It's blind. I'm blind. I don't know where I'm going. I do apologize.
You were going with an old helmet joke, we know.
Yeah.
The wrong helmet, man. That's the wrong helmet. But you've so you jumped in there. You got the booth. Now here's the question: did you see the console unit that the helmet was connected to? Was it a traditional slim with a box? Was it? I mean, I presume it was and wasn't potentially the Pro that we've been hearing about over the last week. What did you see any of the hardware you connected to?
It was just the standard PS4 that they had that has the box that I guess that they
Cool.
hook to the VR, and then it goes to the standard PS4. So
How
So
big
what's
is
the
it?
box?
Yeah.
Give me some
the
dimensions.
the box that it plugs into is about the size of a standard modem. It's very small. It's maybe 5 inches by 5 inches for you standard measurement guys. But it wasn't very big at all. Smaller than a book, like a small book. It was not very big.
Okay, very cool.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, right. I thought it'd be big. Actually, it'd be a bit more clunkier. I was
It was
expecting
very, it was very small.
Frankensteinian.
No, not at
Yeah.
all. It was very small. About if you've seen the size of the Apple T or not Apple TV, but the small Apple computers that can plug to your TV monitor. It's basically a computer within the box. That's about how big it is. It's not very big at all. And the headset was very light. It's maybe like wearing a hat. It was not very heavy at all. I was extremely surprised because it does look pretty big, when they first hand it to you, and obviously they help you put it on and all that stuff. But I thought the weight of it would be much more than it actually was. Once they put it on, and you have an adjustment for the overall band that goes around your head, and then an adjustment for the VR screen to come in and out against your face. And once you have it pretty snug, it's very light.
And is that attached to the helmet? So is it all part of the one?
It's all one unit. Yeah, it's all one piece.
Very cool.
What did your body feel like when you had it on?
Yeah, the direction.
Because obviously, your eyes, which is
Right.
90% of your awareness,
Right.
is seeing and feeling something completely different to the rest of your body.
Exactly. And when I went into it, I didn't really have any expectations, but even though I love amusement parks, I sometimes have a little bit of trouble with vertigo. I get lightheaded sometimes. So I was a little concerned with that, definitely, especially if I would be wearing it for a long period of time, gaming at home. So when I put it on, I played Eve Valkyrie, which was kind of, and it was very immersive. Like I said, I didn't have a lot of expectations. When I put it on, it was very immersive. It was kind of mind blowing when you first put it on to see it, because you're totally detached from reality. You're looking around. You're basically sitting in what looks like a cargo bay in the cockpit of a spaceship. And you look down, you look around, you can see the controls of the spaceship. I looked down. I think it was a feminine figure because I could see I had tits, and I was like, okay, even though this is not too far off from reality, they weren't.
Tell me you tried.
Yeah, mine aren't that perky. But and then the demo basically starts, and you go off. You leave out of the cargo bay, and you have a squadron that you kind of get information with, and then when the enemy ships come in, it was a little weird from other flight games because the right stick did your up and down, left and right of your spaceship, and the right stick, all it did was your pitch, like turn, kind of pitch the ship on its axis. So it was a little weird getting used to the flight controls, but like I said, very immersive. As long as I was going somewhat straight, or where I could basically focus on what I was doing, I was fine. When I would hit the X button and kind of boost and try to fly around bigger ships, the motion sickness would catch there for a minute. It's like, okay, this is a little off. So I would have to slow down a little bit. Like, okay, this is a little awkward. But as far as the immersion, it was amazing. I left very impressed.
And the responsiveness when you're like looking around. Was there lag or?
No, it wasn't. And I had watched quite a bit of review videos on YouTube to just kind of get an idea of what other people's impressions were. I will agree with, I heard a lot of people saying that the graphics are a little bit grainy when you first look at, from being able to tell the difference in a 720 resolution to 1080 resolution. It's kind of like that. It doesn't look like it's 1080 resolution when you're looking at it, but once you start playing it, all of that goes out the window. You're totally immersed in it, and you really don't even pay any attention to it not quite being as clear as you would like it to be.
Yeah. Become adjusted to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that. So what was the demo you said? Was it which one was it? Sorry, Valkyrie.
Valkyrie. Yeah.
And that was the only was that the one that the only one that had active, or was there
No,
a few that you could choose?
No, I can't remember the names of the other ones, but there's the one where it's like where you dive deep and adds the shark attack. There was that one, and a couple of other ones, but the Valkyrie was the one most people were playing just because you go off into space and check that out, and it was a little more immersive. They obviously they had the screen where you could watch people as they play and see what they were seeing, but the Valkyrie looked like the most fun, seemed to be the one that people were trying out the most, so that's what I went with.
Yeah, I think building on what Binary said before, it's kind of interesting. My one of my good mates works for one of the telcos, one of the telephone companies over here in Australia, and he had some time. I think it was with the Vive. It probably wasn't with VR, but he had some small game scenarios that they went through, and actually had, would you believe, one of the manufacturers had some VR porn as well to sample, shall we say? And
we know that's coming, obviously.
Yeah,
VR
right.
porn.
And imagine he's
VR porn.
Yeah, right.
Is
And
coming.
he works for Virgin, so that's appropriate. But imagine, like, he's in a meeting, he's in a meeting room, he's got the helmet on, he's in a business suit, but all of a sudden it just, literally he is part of this environment, and he said that was the weirdest thing to that point that Binary said before, is that his body understood it. He knew that something was happening, but it was this strange cognitive dissonance between his brain and his body. Like his brain just couldn't. It refused to accept what was happening, but his eyes were acknowledging what was happening, but his brain was refusing to accept it happening. And I know that's a bit of a disconnect from Valkyrie, because we're not sort of walking around with naked people in our lounge room. But is that still there? Like, did you feel? I mean, I know you said you felt about motion sickness before, but did you feel any disconnect at all? Or were you there? Like, I'm 100%. I've got my controller in hand. This is game on.
Yeah, I definitely. As I was saying, I had watched some reviews and I'd heard people talk about it, and I wanted to experience it for myself. But definitely, when you're setting in the game, you're fighting the urge to accept that it's not reality, for sure, because you're sitting there, and as you're flying around the cockpit, it's almost like the days when we grew up playing Nintendo or Genesis, and you're wanting to take the controller and lean into the turns, stuff like that, as it's going to make a difference. It's the same way. Exactly. Yes. And you're playing games like that where you're trying to lean into a turn and make it turn, even though we know it doesn't do anything. That was this way. As I'm sitting in that chair playing, I'm fighting the urge to move in the chair and move around because it feels like you should be doing it. And, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking my wife and kids are over here watching, so let's tone it down a bit so I don't look like an idiot. But it's definitely a disconnect. You feel like you should be doing it, even though, like you said, your brain is telling you, no, this is not real. Your hands, your eyes are doing something totally different. So yeah, I'm excited to see where they go with it. From the first impressions, I got a pre-order back in June, and I'm definitely going to pick it up. But I'm excited. Like, I think we're just seeing the first iteration of what could come. And with my guys that I work with, we've tossed it around. But where they could take this, in the Vive or the Oculus Rift, it's pretty interesting to see what could come in the future.
Mm-hmm. Binary, you showed some skepticism over VR, I think, our last conversation. Is that, I mean, obviously you haven't yet demoed it yet, probably, but is that something that's still in your mind? Are you sort of, are you waiting for that big sell? Like, is there one thing that's going to make you come across the line?
No, I'm not waiting for the big sell. I think I'm sold on VR.
Because I was with you, by the way. I mean, it's exactly the same.
I think my concern is this is I suppose it's the first generation. I've experienced VR, way back when it just wasn't up to scratch, right? It was it died a death. I think for me, I think the fit. I already know that things like horror games, like Resident Evil and stuff like that, I'm not even going to attempt in VR.
Yeah.
Because I'm scared. Shit.
Yeah, I was hoping they
haven't
would have
even
Until
crap.
Dawn, but they didn't.
Can you imagine playing like Silent Hill or something in VR? Like, oh my
dude,
God.
I was thinking like Dead Space. Imagine Dead Space. That game creeped the shit out of me. But that was a normal game in
That
VR.
was normal in VR. Like, what's weird, I guess, is, and you could probably cover this, Weezer, but when you're looking through it, right? You know, when you do normal peripheral vision, do you feel sort of blinkered like a racehorse a little bit when you're looking, or does it still give you that peripheral?
Yeah.
It does give you that peripheral, because that was another thing that I definitely wanted to see for myself, because that was one of the first things that I did when I put it on, was start looking left and right in my peripheral and see if I could see the screen. And the way that it kind of form fits, it looks somewhat flat, but it kind of curves around, not quite to the tips of your ears, but it definitely covers your peripheral vision. So when you look left and right without moving your head and look in the peripheral, you can see the screen. You can still see space within the game that I was playing. As I was sitting in the cockpit in the cargo bay, I could look left and right and see guys in the cargo bay working on the other ships that were swimming off to the side. So, yeah.
Yeah, because the only VR I've actually done really is with my phone, and it's where you print out a box, and then you cut the box up, and then you slot your phone in. And then
Byron's making cardboard contraptions and going, look, I got VR.
No, it was this actual thing that you got. I think it was with it was like PC Gamer, I think, did it. And
Okay.
or no, it was I can't remember which magazine, but basically it was a box that you put together, and then you slot your phone in, and then you can literally look around. But obviously that's a different. That was like, that's free VR, right?
That's the binary VR.
Yeah, well, so,
that's the Walmart VR, right?
Yes.
well, I agree with you, Binary, that I was very skeptic of how this is going to go over at first, because, like you said, we've seen VR in the past, but me, it's more of, how are we going to change the way that we play games? When we came out with the Move, with the Kinect, with the PlayStation camera, that stuff, and this is kind of changing the way that we play games. So, it's got to get the backing. So
it moves into two different areas, right? Because you've got the Vive, right, which actually has spatial cameras, right, where you have to have a physical setup in your room, and putting them up and taking them down can take up to half an hour. But then you can actually move around within a container. But then PlayStation VR is literally, right, you can sit in a chair, and then you've got your controller. I don't know. I'm just excited, but also for the the possibilities of the experiences that you can really bring to people.
Right.
When you're looking through it, do you feel like you're looking at life size? Because that's my only. One other thing that I've always thought about is when they port those games, like they're doing Fallout 4, they're doing Star Trek, they've got Star Wars. Those games are, they're designed from a third-person view or a first-person view, but we all know that they're not the eyeball view, right? When you're looking through that glass, do you feel like everything's in proportion, or do you feel like you've got a big head? Yeah.
This one did. It felt it was good to scale. When I had my hands on the controller and I'm holding R2, L2 or whatever. When you would let off the buttons, the pilot that was within the ship, as they're holding the stick of the aircraft that you're flying, they would occasionally take their hand and take it off the controller and kind of look at their hand. And as I'm watching it, proportionally, it looks pretty good to scale. Now, like I said, it looked like a feminine figure to me. So it was a little smaller. It's obviously smaller than me, but it did look a little bit smaller. But as far as the cockpit of the aircraft, the buttons, all of that kind of stuff, the people that were walking in the vicinity of the spaceship, yeah, I mean, it looked pretty good as far as to scale to me.
Weezer's like, excuse me, do you have the man setting? I need a man setting right now. I want some grisly hands.
The PSVR only works on it's just that like 4-axis motion, isn't it? It doesn't. So if you like move your head forward, it doesn't move like the camera. Forward. It just pivots on a view. Or
well, I think there are some games where, as far as because it has the sensors within the mask, as it relates to the PS4 camera. As far as moving forward and backward, it will left and right. But I think there are some games where, as far as getting up and moving around your room, it's a very limited space. It's kind of like you were talking about with the Vive. They've talked about how they would be able to bring that to be, but you would have to have multiple cameras, as you said, a PlayStation 4 camera behind you, some on, to your sides. So it is limited as far as your movement. I could stand up in the chair, and the character wouldn't stand up because she was in a cockpit or he was in a cockpit, and that wasn't part of the game. But when I stood up, I could still look around, and you could tell that it wasn't the same when I stood up. So the way that it was kind of focused when I stood up. Yeah. So it was almost like I had to sit in the chair for it to calibrate correctly where I should be in the cockpit. And then when I would, when I would move from that, it would kind of change a little bit. Which I don't know. I don't know if that's a concern for me. Normally when I play games, I'm usually sitting in my space. Everybody has their spot that they sit in when they're gaming, and that's normally where I'm at. So if I were to have to get up and move to another location, how's that going to be? Am I going to have to recalibrate, how the headset is centered to the camera? I don't know.
Yeah, that's probably what
to be seen.
I think it's probably the most incremental problem. I think that, by the sounds of it. Oh man, I think it's the only reason I'm going to buy a Pro.
Yeah,
What?
there's an offer.
Are you trying to get me started?
Well, no, I think Elvin's probably got a few more questions before we move on to that bullshit. But
Yeah. But there's an offer up at my local center. Have you guys started to see those? Like the trade-in offers, like trade in your PS4 for this amount, and we'll.
For a Pro?
Yeah, trade. I mean, obviously you pay a difference, and then you
Wow.
get a Pro. Yeah.
This is so unfortunate. It's such an unfortunate term, isn't it? Get rid of your electronics for a Pro.
Yeah, this is where the podcast turns nasty.
Yeah.
You know,
Elvin,
you're
what are you
okay,
thinking? Have you seen some of the VR demos over the last few months? I mean, I mean, you're a bit like me. I think personally, where I think I can buy it, but I'm just sort of thinking, how do I use it in the space of a lounge room when I got kids around and all that sort of stuff? Is that on your mind, or what are you thinking of VR?
Yeah, well, I pre-ordered the Oculus, and then
Oh snap! I didn't know that.
yeah, no, I pre-ordered it, and then I cancelled it because I thought, well, I'm actually gaming with a group, and it just seems like, I'll enjoy it and I'll do racing games on it. I think was mainly like the idea of sitting in a cockpit and being able to look round a bend as you're driving. Saying, that I'd be up for that. But then it's like it's a lot of money when you think, actually, I'm just gaming with with my friends. So it seems like I'll just wait. And then the longer I wait, I'm just like, I'll just wait for version 2.
Actually, I was
Do you
going to
know what I
ask that,
mean?
yeah, because I think, we've known each other long enough. You get a kick out of that communal aspect, don't you? I mean, Checkpoint and Chill, to be fair, even the concept of Checkpoint and Chill is Elvin and some of the original guys in the Dark Zone and in the Division, and that's kind of, I mean, do you feel that there's a disconnect between? I mean, am I going to be using a VR helmet and playing multiplayer games? Is that kind of what you're hitting at, or?
No, it's just like the software's there, but it's just like single player. I'd say more experiences. I mean, apart from driving games, it's more just experiences, isn't it? They're not like fully fledged, and it'll just take me away from where I am now. But like, I'm enjoying what I'm doing, so it seems like I'll drop the money on it when it fits into that. That's what I'm doing. So I'm not going to spend all that money and take myself back into single player because I can save 500 quid and have more fun. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm up for VR. It's just that at the minute I'm just gonna do, because like there's so many games coming out that aren't VR that for the next 6 months or so, my hands are, I'm busy with games that I'm already planning on playing. So for a novelty of it at the minute, I'm not gonna invest. Unless the kids get one for Christmas, because if Santa brings them one, I'll be going on that.
How convenient.
Yeah, but apart from that, I don't think I'll bother. Not at the minute. I keep umming and ahhing, and then I look at that OS VR, the modular one, which is the Open VR that Razer have got behind. That sounds good because you can sort of swap in your screen. Like you could update it as you go. I think like the developer.
So it's PC centric, I presume.
Yeah. But it's like you can swap out the screen. The idea is you can swap it out. Like so if there's a new screen, you can put a new screen in it, and it's all modular, so you could just update it. Like you would your PC.
Okay.
And that's 400 quid. But I think that's like a developer edition at the minute. But I'm keen, but not just yet. I think for me.
So if I was to give you the choice between wearing the Batman cowl and jumping into an X-wing, what would you choose? What would you go for?
It's got to be X-wing, got it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Definitely
we can all wear a rubber suit whenever we want.
Yeah. Well, the reason I'm asking, I'm curious because we know that I think we talked about this last week with the X-wing add-on mission that's coming to Battlefront for free, by the way. But there is a price to Rocksteady's version of the Batman VR, and I'm not sure. I don't have all the details on me, but I'm getting the impression that the reason there's a price is because it's not just a little cute add-on to the experience like we're going to see with some of these games. Primarily, we know that Sony, and to their credit smartly, are pushing this idea that let's make these bolt-on experiences. Like Final Fantasy will have one, Star Wars Battlefront will have one, Batman is going to be a slightly different story, but they're trying to create these ideas that there is an experience you can have. It doesn't have to be the primary one. I guess to get people, I guess they got to sort of really get us into it, don't they? To really, like, Weezer, you were saying, you've been living it, you've completely experienced it, and I will still argue there's some tone in your voice there that says, there's still some things that maybe they can smoothen out a little bit, the consistency of the quality, maybe as you say, you don't want to be getting sick after 45 minutes. You should feel natural.
Right.
But yeah, so I'd be curious to see how that goes because the Batman one, as I said, as far as I'm aware, it's going to be a more complete experience. Whether that be, I don't know, it's a separate mission, but certainly something much more robust than jump in an X-wing, shoot 23 TIE fighters, and land. Not that it's not to discredit to Battlefront. It looks pretty cool.
Right.
But, I don't know. Anyone interested in donning the Batman cowl?
I would definitely go Star Wars as well over Batman.
Yeah.
Though to what Elvin was saying, I definitely get that, and that's kind of my back and forth as well. Is do I want to pay that much for the novelty of it? Because that's generally how I am. I have to have the new thing when it comes out, especially with Sony. So that's normally how I am. But the smart move, if I was just snap judgment, the smart move would be to see how it is once it comes out. Once other third-party developers, start putting out content for it, and see how it is, 6 months down the road. But like I said, I'm one of those that has to have it, right away.
Wiggins here.
Whoa.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello, old chap.
Hello.
What's the news, Governor?
Oh,
What's
nothing.
going on?
I just thought I'd drop in and make sure that you guys are taking the mick out of the PS4 Pro.
Not yet.
Oh,
You
right,
can-
okay.
We're kind
Oh,
of
yeah,
praising it.
Yeah, we love it. We
It's,
said that you were all over it. You were
Oh,
licking
yeah,
screen when you were watching it.
Oh yeah.
Ladies
that's,
and gentlemen, back from his bench on alcohol poisoning, Mr. Wigan,
I'm
84
I'm
is
still here.
back.
I'm still at Holly Bob's. I'm just at the fish and chip shops getting chips at the minute.
I thought you were dancing. I thought you were dancing with a big animal.
I have a big hippo. Don't tell
Big
the wife.
hippo. Huh?
You can't get more checkpoint and chill than joining from a fish and chip shop at the beach. That's great. I love it. But you know what they say, one awesome guy joins and one awesome guy leaves, and that's going to be me, guys, because I've hit 5:50. I'm going to have to depart now and get the kids ready for school and all that kind of stuff, get ready for work. So I'm going to leave you to it to talk about whatever you want to talk about, games and alcohol poisoning and PS Pro and virtual porn. I mean, the world is your oyster, really. But do you want me to record an outro binary, or do you want to just do the outro at the end?
No, we can do the outro at the end, mate.
Come on, man. All right,
So,
easy.
cutting it up.
All right,
take it
Weezer,
easy.
it was a pleasure.
Yeah, you too, guys. Take it easy. Have a good day.
Alvin, I love your head. I just want to rub your head.
He doesn't.
I'm glad you clarified because loving my head really wasn't where I wanted to leave at.
Wigsy, I'll leave you in the fish and chip shop. See you, man.
Here he
Oh,
is.
he's gone.
Yeah, it's creamy. Yeah, he's like,
His tone of voice has changed.
die, he says.
Die.
Guys, I salute you.
See you later, dude.
What's that noise?
Oh, he's gone. That's him as well.
Oh.
Here's a flyer.
So when do we get up to before Gaz had the bell?
Yeah, so we were saying like whether, well, I mean, you know, it's that. Do you buy it now? Would you buy it now? Or you know, like Weezer said, smart money's on. Just waiting and seeing.
Yeah. If you're a person that has to have it right away, then that's me. And that's
I'm like that. I'm like that, but
well,
we've got that much going on, haven't we? You know what I mean? It's like,
well, see,
what are
I
you
did it
gonna
with
do?
Destiny. I got Destiny when it came out, and I hated it, and I got rid of Destiny. And then you guys with the DZR community brought me back to Destiny, and I got loads of content when I picked it back up, and I love it now, and it's so much better than when I dipped my toes in it the first time. It was like it wasn't for me, and now I'm glad I went back.
For me, I think so. I've been waiting for this announcement to actually go and buy myself a PS4 because I was like, right, I want a PS4. I've been wanting one for months. I was hoping for one on my birthday. I didn't get one.
Yeah.
So I said, right, I'm gonna wait for the Neo to come out so I'll go and spend the money. And you know what? I'm a little bit annoyed because for me, it feels like that they've just done a rush release to be ahead of the curve. But in that attempt, they've actually put themselves into a weird position because what they've released, which is basically the same processor, they've gone, okay, one good thing is they've gone to 4.2 teraflops. Right, that's on the exact same architecture, but they've gone to 4.2 on a new Radeon. They've got the 4K, they've got the 1080p, they support HDR, and they're on DDR5. Right, so okay, so you can do 4K, and you can get 60 frames per second quite easily with that hardware. But the longevity of it, if I'm going to go and spend £600, right, which is including the VR, which is the whole reason I was waiting for the Neo to come out, that's not going to last another 3-4 years because you've got Scorpio, which is going to come out back end of next year, which at the moment is going to be 6 teraflops, but that's on today's technology. Everyone, we all know that they actually don't confirm the hardware until about 3 to 4 months before release. That's another 9 to 10 months away. So you could be reaching 8 teraflops or even 10 teraflops at that point through the silicon that they make.
Yeah, I mean, if they actually base that on AMD's new, you know, like the new processor that they've announced, where they've increased IPC, it's
absolutely.
It's going to be more than that, isn't it? I mean, I heard four times an Xbox One. But I reckon potentially it could be a lot better.
Yeah, so for me, it's just like, what's PlayStation done? Okay, so they've gone and put 3 consoles on the market. They're actually so close together in terms of technology, but a couple of £100 to £300 in difference in price.
Yeah.
On the market at the same time, when there was no need to. They didn't need to rush. Like the Scorpio's not even going to be out for another year. They could have taken a year. To, they've got a big enough player base and they've got a big enough market just to release the Slim, which I would have bought. But now I'm a bit like, well, I don't know what to buy.
Yeah, I tell you what's like, in the back of my mind, it's like I'm thinking, like this and ahhing about buying an Oculus or a PSVR. It's like Microsoft have already lined themselves up with Oculus, and if they came out and said, if you've got an Oculus today, it's going to work with the Scorpio, that'd push me to buy one, I reckon.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'd be like, well, I'm just going to buy an Oculus, and I've got my Oculus now, and then I'll get the support from Microsoft in a year's time.
Yeah, exactly. But for me, it's like I want VR now. I'm not going to go and spend a lot of money on a PC, so I'm slightly forced through my own choice to go and buy a PS4 Pro, just so I can have the VR. But
Yeah.
I'm pissed at the fact that the box is so crap.
Yeah.
And why do you release a box that can't even play 4K DVDs?
Yeah, that it makes no
Like,
sense.
what the fuck is that?
Well, it's not like Sony are invested, is it? They're not invested in 4K Blu-ray, Sony. So it's not their kettle of fish, is it? It's not their domain. It's like Nintendo in online gaming. It's not their thing.
No. But when you're going to spend £400 or £500 on a box, right? 4K TV is the next thing, and 4K streaming. It's one of the smallest little things in the whole thing for me. But it's just a bit silly. Why not have 4K capability Blu-ray playing? Unless that was going to drive the cost of the box up. They couldn't get a deal quick enough because Scorpio was released at E3 and they chose not to announce Neo at E3. They've, in my view, rushed to launch the Pro, and in so they've not secured the hardware manufacturing deals that they would probably have done if they'd taken a little bit longer to launch, which is probably why there's no 4K capability in the Blu-ray play.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But for me, I'd still buy it because I want VR. But if I didn't want VR, I wouldn't buy it. I'd stick with a Slim or the normal.
And you're talking about $100 difference. You're talking about $100 for the difference in a Slim and a Pro. And I think I said this on Twitter. I have a 4K HDR Sony television that I can watch 4K stuff on, but for someone that already has a PS4, there's no incentive for. I mean, okay, I've watched enough 4K stuff on my TV. It's a lot like VR to me in the sense that once you watch it so much, you don't even really notice it anymore. From regular 1080p to 4K, yes, there's a drastic jump in the resolution, and once you first start watching it and look at it, it's definitely different. But after you watch enough of it, it becomes the standard, and you don't even really notice it that much. So for me to go out and spend $400 on a new system because I can upscale to 4K, no, it's not in it for me. And like you said, I think once they came out with the Scorpio, once Xbox came out with that, the Scorpio, if we're being honest, the Scorpio could be the next evolution in the Xbox family, even though it's a one. It could be the next Xbox.
For me, PlayStation have just handed it to Microsoft on a fucking plate.
Yeah, they better be up to something.
And the thing is, they've said they're gonna kill like console generations. So they're basically Xbox 2 is a PC, isn't it? What
Phil Spencer said and what Microsoft had said, and I actually see from this plan what they're doing is they want to cater for 3 different types of the market, right? Which is
Palm VR,
which is the lower end, well, not the lower end of the market, but the extreme casual players or the people that can't afford to spend a lot of money on gaming systems. So they provide you with the Xbox, just the plain standard one, right? Which is a low price point of a couple of £100. You're going to get 5 to 6 years worth of gaming out of that. Then you've got your mid-market, right? Which is which is sort of our area, right? Your mid-market upwards players who want your HD, you want your HDR, you want your 4K TV because but you're not on a hardcore gamer. And then you've got the Scorpio, which is your extreme high end, right? Your VR, your high teraflops, your full HDR, and 60 frames per second, and all this. And they will evolve each 3 of those as they go, right? Or it will be, so there was not an evolution. It will go to the Xbox One or anything, or the Xbox 2 or 3 or anything like that. And I think from that strategy, PlayStation have slightly rushed or hurried together some sort of plan to try and say, oh shit, that was pretty good. We're going to try and copy it. But yeah, they've just done it too soon, man. It's just, I was just a little bit shocked. I think, but I'm not the only one, right? Twitter blew up about it. Yeah. How they're shocked. There's a lot of people out there that just aren't happy about it. You're going to get people out there who just have the latest tech and just want to go and, oh, it's out. I've got to go buy it. I pre-ordered it already.
Yeah.
Well,
it's like founders editions on graphics cards, isn't it? There's a certain person who'll go, I've got to have it. I'm going to pay the extra. I'll have it now. Whatever.
We as people like us, right? We have to have value from our technology, right?
Mm-hmm.
we're working men. We don't have all the money in the world, but if we're going to spend, which is a fair chunk of change, right? It's not.
Oh, yeah.
You can buy a car for that price, right?
Mm-hmm.
It might be beaten up, but it's still a car that will make a difference to your life. And I just don't think PlayStation are really thinking about that.
I really don't know. I agree with you. I think after E3 and kind of Xbox dropped that bombshell of the Scorpio, I think that Neo is going to be announced, and I think PlayStation had a big advantage by going after Xbox, because if I don't know how much worse this would be if PlayStation would have come out with this announcement before the Scorpio. And the comparison between it and the Scorpio is not really a comparison. It's not a comparison at all. It's basically comparing the Xbox 4 Pro to the Xbox One S that's out now, because it's basically the same thing. I'm going to get an Xbox One S. I'm not going to get a Pro.
Yeah.
The only way I'm getting a Pro ever is if the Xbox that I have sitting in there now craps out on me and I have to get a new, or if my PS4 craps out on me, then I'll get the Pro. Because it's the same price that I gave for the one that I have now. But as far as me wanting to get rid of this one to pick up the Pro, I just don't see it. I can get an Xbox One S. I can broaden the group of people that I play with. I can start playing with you guys over on Xbox, and I have the best of both worlds. I'm not getting rid of this one to get a Pro. And Xbox has the 4K capability. If I want that, I'll get the Xbox One S.
And I'll tell you what, the Xbox. Anyway, I love my Xbox.
And you're talking about someone who has been die-hard PlayStation. I owned an Xbox 360 for about a month at one time, and this was during the whole console war, and I could not stand Xbox. But now there used to be what seemed to me was a big division within the gaming community, whether it was Xbox, it was PlayStation, or it was PC. And now it's not. It seems as the gaming community has come together more and is demanding more from the developers, demanding more from Sony and Xbox. And now we want the best thing. It doesn't matter who is making it. We want the best. And right now, PlayStation was doing so well after the PS4 and was making PS4 hand over fist over Xbox. And now Xbox, because of the One S, has outsold PlayStation the last 2 months.
Yeah.
And this is not the kind of news that PlayStation needed on top of that already.
No.
It was more bad publicity. So I have to cross my fingers and think that PlayStation has something in the works behind the scene that we don't know about. And they damn sure better hope they do, or it's going to be bad news come next to E3.
Yeah, it's only going to be the two things that strike me in my mind is that, one, they're going to kill off the PlayStation 4 version 1, and that will be replaced with the Slim. And then they have a new Pro X, for example, or PS4 Elite come out.
Right.
When the Scorpio does. I think that's the...
but how bad does that look now that they've announced this Pro? This Pro is coming out, and then you're just going to have another iteration like, oh my goodness.
That's the only thing from a hardware point of view. I think that's the only way that they can do that. But in process of doing that, they're just going to damage they're going to damage the consumers that actually buy it, which is
we were actually joking around work about what this means and how they could recover it, because I don't see it going well unless there's something else going on that we don't see. Because like you said, it's mostly marketed towards people that don't have a PS4. And if you don't have a PS4, what's the point in getting a Slim when you can get the Pro and it's $100 difference? I get that. But for the people that already have it, I don't think it's good. And I made the joke. The only thing that I think, because we've all known what has happened to PlayStation in the dark days when Xbox 360 was killing PS3, that kind of stuff. And the only thing that I joked about is if Nintendo NX doesn't go over well, and let's all agree, like, I love Nintendo. We grew up on Nintendo. We want Nintendo to be that console that we hope it would be, and get back into mainstream consoles. They're just not there. They're not on the same level as Sony and Xbox right now. But if they were to do away with console and sell those IPs, that's the only thing that I can see that would win it for either or. If Sony was to secure the IPs for all of the Mario, you got all the Super Smash Brothers, all the Mario games, Metroid, Zelda. I personally, I don't know how Nintendo is able to keep up in the console market.
Well, they're not, right? Yeah, we all. Well, I've looked at the patents for NX.
I'm gonna grab my power cord as well. So,
okay,
I hope that's not a euphemism.
We'll wait till he comes back. But
no, I can still hear you.
Oh, you can still hear. Okay, so I've looked at the patents for the NX, and I'm a Nintendo fan. Nintendo is my first console, and then I had like a Sega. I've had a Sega Mega Drive, and I miss all those, right? So Nintendo are smart, right? They're not stupid. They dominate the handheld market, right? That entire market. That's what they own. Now their vision, they haven't confirmed or not, but from the patents, what I can guess and what I can see is that it's a portable device that you can play out when you're in the car or in the street walking around like a handheld, and then you can take it home and plug it into a TV as a normal console.
Yeah.
And that's their market. They're not trying to compete. I don't think Nintendo are going to come back with a Wii. They're not going to come back with a Wii U, right? They know that market is a PlayStation and Xbox and PC area.
Oh man, I was hoping for a Wii Wahoo.
But that's my prediction, right? That's just my prediction of what the NX is going to be. It's going to be this device that you can play in your hand or you can play up on a big screen.
Yeah, well that's what it is, isn't it? Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Because they're just not in that market, and I think they know that.
And it's sad because the Wii was such a success, and then like we were talking about, with the
PS Move.
With Wii Sports and all that, changing the way that we play games. I had friends and family, older people who had never played video games that started playing games, and it was, it changed the way we were playing. And then the Wii U comes out, and it was a disaster. And I think that hurt their momentum in the console market. But yeah, like you were saying, Nintendo has their niche and it's handheld, and they do it well, and they pretty much have that market cornered.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, isn't it? Like we all know where Nintendo are in comparison to the other, Sony and Microsoft. But if they actually, I know it's a stretch, right? But let's just imagine this, NX, and it's handheld, and you can plug it into your TV, but you can take it out and about. But they've got third-party support. So the games you play, you can just off your pop and you take it with you. For like your kids or whatever. You're not like, oh well, get your hand out. Let's we're going out today. Take your hand out. You just take it with you. If there was third-party support and it actually worked and it was decent, that could potentially be good. I know I don't put it in the same category as like Sony and Microsoft, but if I had a device that was handheld, that I can go, I'm going to work. I just take the one device. I don't need like a substandard PC where I'm going to play it at work. I just take it with me and I play the same games. If they actually did like the online stuff that Nintendo don't do, then I mean, it could be good. I mean, I think everybody's like, this isn't going to be good, is it? But I mean, potentially, if there's potential in the idea, and it's not like a gimmick, is it? Or do you think it's just totally a gimmick?
No, I think I agree. I think that third-party support, like we were talking about earlier, I think the Wii and definitely the Wii U have survived off of those games, the Super Smash Brothers, the Dance Dance Revolution games, that kind of stuff. They need that third-party support.
I'm going to say yeah, but I have no idea what you've said. Yeah. They definitely do need the third-party support. You've kind of froze, Weezer.
We're losing you, Weezer.
See, I'll tell you what.
I'm back.
You,
sort of.
Yeah, you kind of back. I think you found God and you're talking in tongues, which is nice for you. But
I think
we
I
don't
might be
speak.
back.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, you're back.
Oh,
There you
there
go.
we
Look at
There
who
you
he
go.
is.
There you
Beautiful.
go. Tell your kids to
Yeah.
stop downloading porn.
Yeah. I tell you what, I have not. I know this is a bit off on the tangent, but this weekend I've realised I'm shit at doing what's it called? I can't even remember what they're called. Yeah, I was doing a Destiny raid, right?
Oh yeah.
And I've realised I'm completely incompetent at them. And I've realised you don't use a sidearm, yeah,
Yeah.
because that's useless.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we spent like I think
Sometimes.
4 hours, 4 hours of my weekend being verbally assaulted by my incompetence. It's like the good old days of multiplayer.
What raid were you doing?
I don't even know. We did some of it on Saturday, got through the first bit, and then we did some with a couple of people. Barca got a few people in, and then we did the next bit, but yeah, we didn't get very far, and I think it was all down to me. Everybody was nice and polite about it. I've not done a raid yet.
Oh really? I do a raid a night at the moment. So, but last night I did all three in one.
A night? And how long did they take? Because this is going to make me weep.
So about an hour and a half.
Oh fuck, man! We've not even got to a boss.
Oh really? So yeah, so Vault of Glass will usually take us about 50 minutes. Crota will take about 40, and then King's Fall will take about an hour.
Oh man, you're not gonna believe. You'd be laughing, but not in like a good way. You know, like laughing, thinking how incompetent. It's like, oh, it was. And now I feel really bad knowing that. I don't even know which one it was.
No, so it depends what group you're with. But the thing with raids is you need one person to shout out what everyone needs to do.
Who's doing the one where like there's two plates, like you got to a section, I don't know how far in it was, after doing like a jumping puzzle where you had to get through.
On the ships.
And there's like there's like things floating past.
And
then
you're on
you get to a bit right, and there's like a plate down there and a plate down there, and you have to switch back up to the middle to light up the door. Then there's the symbols on the door, and every time you bring whatever it is you get on the plate, you have to come back with it. You have to sort of switch it, and you go switch left, switch right.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And is that the one where you got to hide behind the pillars? So these guys got the gaze.
I don't know. No, it's not.
Oh, you're talking about the one in the middle where you have to keep swapping. That's the first bit.
Oh fuck! I know, man. Seriously, I weren't joking when I said it's really bad. I spent 4 hours on that.
That's the first bit.
Dude, seriously, man.
That's the bit that you're not even in the raid until you've done that bit.
Dude, I should buy an Oculus Rift and put everybody else so they can actually enjoy gaming again, because I'm just making people suffer.
That's the bit you have to do that proves you're worthy to even
I'm not worthy.
do the raid.
Yeah, I'm clearly not. Absolute.
It does take coordination though with the rest of everyone needs to be on point for that bit because it gets pretty tight.
Yeah.
Sorry guys, my internet's bouncing all over the place.
There you go. Hey, you froze on a really happy face. It was beautiful.
I did, Fred.
Yeah,
I did.
Beautiful. He was like, really enjoyed it.
I heard you guys talking about Destiny Binary. We were playing, I think maybe last weekend we were doing a raid. And Elvin had excused himself for a few minutes. So me and Donkey spent about 5 minutes trying to push Elvin off a cliff. It was pretty fun. Just us jumping, pushing him.
I saw that.
And then, of course, when he came back, of course, we just stood there like we had no idea what was going on. We were so close to pushing him off, and he showed up just in time.
It's funny you should say that, right? Because last night
I went online and I seen Red was on, right? So I joined his fire team, and he's in a mission, and he's just still, right? So after all, he's always pushing me off a cliff or something, right? So I thought I'm going to push him. So I pushed him all the way up to this wall. And when I got to the wall, there was a little ledge in front of him, right? So I got on the ledge and I turned around to him, and he was just the way it worked. His head was right between my legs. So I just took a screenshot of him, and he'd fallen asleep again. Day drinking's bad because you don't know what's going to happen when you've woke up.
Oh,
But yeah.
dear.
But
I've had some of that myself. We, you know, like I've said in the past, my primary game that I normally play is NHL, and it comes out Tuesday. So I'll be streaming that and doing some review and some, you know, just my first impressions. But when we used to play club, kind of like FIFA, when you would get into a locker room before you would go to a game, we had a couple of people that I may still have the stream of, and when we would come back into the locker room, there you could just hear them snoring over their microphone. They had just fallen asleep.
Yeah.
You know, it's 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. They're just snoring. It's good fun.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. I like NHL. I played NHL for a little bit. When I was living out in Vancouver, it's definitely the game to play. That and Madden.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like NHL. It's fun. I could never get the fights down though. I just couldn't do it.
That they haven't.
Get the fights
They've
down.
never done a super good job of the fighting, using the left stick to dodge and the right stick basically to punch. But yeah,
couldn't get that at all for them.
they don't do fighting well, which is it kind of makes me wonder why EA hasn't come out with another Fight Club. They have, or not Fight Club, but Fight Night. They haven't done it on PS4.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Real
I mean,
nice.
They
mean
always
VR?
so good. That would be cool as well.
Fight Night VR, I feel it like in real life. Somebody just get your family member to just slap you in the face as you do it.
Whiplash.
Kidney punch. Oof. That'd be
But
awesome.
those kind of games I think would lend decent to VR. You know, Madden, like you were saying, if you did, you know, All Pro Madden or where you were just the quarterback and being able to use VR where you're just looking through the helmet, or
they do that in FIFA. They do that in FIFA where it's like be the player.
Right.
And you're a single player on the team.
Yeah, I was hoping that VR would have the demo at Best Buy because I know there is a VR demo for PlayStation where you're just heading the ball into the net. It's just soccer balls that are coming towards you, and you use the VR to just head them towards targets that are on the goal. But they didn't have that one, so
that is cool. I like the sound of that. That actually.
And the Drive Club one, Elvin, you were talking about driving. If you haven't seen the Drive Club VR YouTube, there's a guy that plays about 15 minutes of Drive Club. With a force feedback wheel that I could get into that. We used to do that with some of the Gran Turismo games, and that's good fun getting on with your buddies. You know, if you've got enough people, you know, 10 or 15 people, and getting out on the track and having a go at it, that's fun.
Yeah. And also, I got a free code right from Jake the Snake 719 on Discord. He put his code for the Warthog on Horizon 3. He got this code from Xbox. He just put it up in general chat. I was all over that. Got that. So I thought I better pre-order it. So I've pre-ordered it. If it's a bag of shit, oh well.
Horizon
3
is going to be incredible.
I'm really looking forward to it.
Are absolutely banging, and that in VR would be.
Brilliant. Yeah, and it should, like that's the thing in it. It shows potential, but I've heard people who've played. Well, not people. You know, like I've listened to podcasts where they've played like Grid Dirt, not Grid Dirt. You know what I mean? What's it called? Dirt. Oh, bollocks. Whatever it's called. You know, like driving game. Anyway, I played driving games with Oculus Rift, and it's like the most vomit-inducing. You know, like they thought they was all into VR, but they can only handle like 10 minutes or so of driving, just because it's such a head fuck to play it that you have to just take it off because it's just too much. So the idea is great, but whether your body can physically handle it is another thing, isn't it?
Right.
I just hope they bring the immersive. You know, you can buy the gamer chairs that are a bit of a gimmick that has the speakers and the vibrations.
Right.
I'm just thinking those with VR would be if they can do it so it actually does sync the same, you know, controller vibration.
Yeah, but I mean that's available now, isn't it? You just get a butt kicker. I had a gaming chair, and that's all there already. You just plug it in and off it goes. It just goes off. Yeah, it'll just go off the sides. That works now, definitely. Because I just had one that you plugged the, you plugged it into your PS4 and it just worked.
Oh, really?
I think I had it set up on my PC, but yeah,
a little
literally,
rumble chair. Yeah.
It picks up a certain frequency of the audio, and
So-
it worked really well. You know, like when you used to rev your engine, your chair would throb. It was pretty sweet.
So if you had that with a steering wheel, pedals, and a gear
Yeah.
shift in VR,
Yeah.
that's it. Game over for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I used to sweat like I had one, right? But now I've got my chair on my PC has got like a mesh back because I used to sit in this gaming chair, which is literally what you're talking about. With it had like a butt kicker in it. You know, like it wasn't a butt kicker, like I said, like a brand, but it had like all that shit you was talking about. But I used to sweat like a motherfucker. Do you know what I mean? I didn't have any weight to lose. I'd come off there looking like I'd just come out of a POW camp. Because you're gonna
That's
be.
why
You're gonna be,
you have to get the real racing helmet that has like the hose with the air that blows into the helmet for you to keep you cool.
I need one
The
that's going to blow into my
Formula One
pants.
I need some like.
Well, you already have the rumble chair. I was wondering how many times you've rolled over and laid on it the wrong way just for the enjoyment of it, or maybe it's the right way.
Well, yeah. No, I never did that. I hugged it a lot from the back. It had a subwoofer hole in the back. Fucking hell.
But no, the VR, like, throwing out those ideas, like it could be interesting. We were talking, like I said, the guys that I talked to, like, where's VR going to go? Like, I would be interested to see if they take it, like, say, for instance, I've never been to Europe. To go to London, is there the potential that people out there will take it past gaming and do where I can basically put on this VR headset?
Google Streets.
Yeah,
Google
exactly.
Streets in VR.
Yeah, I want to go to Rome, go see the Colosseum. That would be amazing to just put it on VR. It's not going to be the same as actually going there, but
you get the
next
perspective.
best thing. Exactly.
Scale of stuff. Yeah.
Exactly.
Go around on Mars, right? Join a little rover.
Or people that may even use it for educational purposes. Doing
Doctors,
schooling. Yeah,
surgery.
exactly. Yeah,
absolutely.
Exactly.
Oh man, I'm interested to see how the multiplayer mechanism works. Once they start bringing that in, and will a PlayStation box be able to handle 2 VR headsets? So if you bought 2, could you have one, both in the same room, or do you have to have a second box?
I didn't look super close to see if it had multiple outputs for multiple headsets, but no, that's interesting as well. You're talking about just within your own living room playing multiplayer.
Yeah. Because
I don't know.
You're not gonna. I mean, we've already spoke about how limited the power is. Now we're talking about plugging 2 in. But do you want to do? Go. Fuck you,
Well, I know on the Meet the Streamer podcast we were talking about that, where there were certain games where one player could wear the VR and the other people sitting in the living room can interact with the game. So it's not that far fetched to think you could have
2 years.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, It's like, it's like potential for user interface as well, isn't it? Like obviously this is taking it away from like PlayStation, but like if you could imagine sitting and having a virtual desk, we'd looking at like second generation stuff where it's a lot higher resolution, but you could potentially just have an array of screens. Do you know what I mean? And you could just select, information you want. You could just have a multitude of screens. Do you know what I mean? These sort of things are like next level craziness, isn't it? I mean, I'm incompetent with one monitor. I can't see what's going on the majority of that. But when you get this, because it's like that tech where it's like field of view stuff, where I can't remember what it's called, but where they keep it really high resolution where you're looking, so they track your eyes, and they just track if you're looking at that part. And the other thing of that is that it drops this GPU usage because it sort of works like your own eyes would. Yeah. So everything else is slightly blurred, and you just concentrate on that one point where you're looking.
Yeah.
This is all. That's what I mean. So like, version 2.0, when that comes out, if it all integrates with this sort of software, potentially the next leap is going to be crazy.
Yeah, I agree.
See,
I can't wait. It's gonna be great.
We can be doing this in VR. You can have like an avatar.
Mm-hmm.
Like PKR poker.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, it'd be crazy to think where we could possibly be in 10 years.
My wife doesn't throw down the hammer on gaming in the next 10 years. That's possible as well. She hates it now.
Yeah.
We're always constantly fighting that battle. So that's the game that never ends.
Oh, yeah. That's the barrel of laughs, isn't it? I've noticed you keep moving rooms. You're like, I'm waiting for you to just be sat on the toilet. It's like,
no,
this is what we are.
They've left now. I ran them off, so they're no longer here. So,
Oh, I scared them out.
Yeah. As soon as the cast is over, I go straight to gaming and then get ready to rest before work tonight. So it worked out perfect.
Oh, there we go. Is there anything else, Elvin, do you want to cover or?
No, I think we've covered enough, haven't we?
Yeah.
We just need to send Weezer on location, don't we, every week? What's Weezer been up to this week? He's like, I've mainly been doing VR porn.
Dead or alive?
Well, for me, before I close, basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to infiltrate every DZR podcast. I've been on Meet the Streamer twice. I'm on with the guys from Checkpoint and Chill now. I've been talking to Origami Train about being on the Armory, although I am definitely not a min-max guy or an expert on builds, but I told him I can fake it. I'll just do some research with my wife. She's great at faking it, so she can give me some. I'll infiltrate the Armory. I can do that one. And then it's just on to engage and then jumping.
What you've got to do is you've just got to trust in what other people are saying, and you just go, yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
I've done that loads, and generally it works out. And if it doesn't work out, you just say, well, I was just supporting you. I knew you'd got it wrong, but it just felt like you needed the support. You just go, yep, right.
Yeah. You just pick it. I just piggyback off a binary, like, yeah, exactly what he was saying. I agree with everything that he says.
So now
he's super insightful.
Now I know. I just don't think that you are agreeing. You're like, fucking hell, this guy talks a lot of bullshit.
Yeah.
He said he likes PS4 Pro. What?
Just ask a question, don't you? So it's like, I don't have any knowledge, but I know I should have some knowledge in this area. So you ask a question about that, and then throw it open to everybody else and go, yeah. Job done. That's 2 hours. Job done. A couple of beers.
I was a little bit concerned that it might go down a rabbit hole because Binary had sent me a tweet about the Raspberry Pi. So I thought that was going to spiral into like me and Elvin going down the Urban Dictionary. I was like, Raspberry Pi, what is this? This is another one of.
Oh, I've actually been
cool though, isn't it? Raspberry Pi.
Yeah, I've been trying to work out what my next thing is. I've got a Raspberry Pi upstairs that I used to have as just like an emulation box and just gave it to the kids. But then I think I needed the memory card, and I nicked the memory card out of it, so it's just sort of sat there gathering dust.
I'm gonna have to check that out. I just thought it was something totally different when I first got it. It's like, break out the Urban Dictionary. What does this mean?
Yeah, you can do anything with that.
We talked about Raspberry Pi on Meet the Streamer, didn't we?
Mm-hmm, yeah. I'm gonna look into.
You thought I was talking about pie, like actual food, Elvin.
Right. Yeah.
All right. But Weezer, if you've got an idea for a show, man, you've only got to mention it, and we'll always host it for you.
Yeah, definitely.
And then we'll invite you on it.
Yeah, awesome. Come up with the
you
idea
can't
and be a
fit
guest.
anymore, can you, Henry? It's like, this is a piss break. There's a podcast. Right.
This is becoming like a whole conglomerate. It's becoming like a whole conglomerate with all these different podcasts, like a business now.
No,
I'll tell you what. Wait till you see the website. The website is when that comes, my friend. It is. Think of your gaming experience across all platforms, games, in your own space.
Right. Wow. Now, not to let the cat out of the bag, let me ask you this: Is there any talks like to do more dedicated Twitch streams? For instance, dedicated people that are going to stream at certain times or different content. Awesome. I'd be interested in that as well. It's fun.
All right. Elvin, do you want to do the closing or shall I?
Yeah, you do it, man. You're more professional than me.
Uh-oh.
You do it every day, man. So you're like, I could do closes in my sleep. It's like, right, and thanks to my wife, you're like in bed going, right, well, thanks to, how can we get you, missus? Yep, sweet, yeah. And she says, see you later, fuckface, and you go, and that's a wrap. And we're done. You must do them in your sleep, nation, yeah? And you're like, on all the podcasts.
She does say goodnight, fuckface, though, when we go to bed. Yeah. It's quite funny.
Just as she's bearing down on your face.
You go, what more?
So that was Checkpoint and Chill. We've had a number of guests. We've had Mr. Weezer, the man, the gent that has joined me on a couple of other casts. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on today, talking about VR, PS, life in gaming in general. We got to see a big bed head. Yeah, man, absolutely love it, and I love having you on. Hope you've had a good time.
Yeah, definitely. I'll be infiltrating another DZR podcast pretty soon. Like I said, I'm trying to run the whole gauntlet.
Infiltration strategy.
Yeah.
And
yeah, thank you for having me on.
No, absolutely, it's been absolutely brilliant. We love having you on here. We've also had Ogaz. He had to go to work, but it's 5 a.m. for him. But we still have the bouncy castle in view there. So thank you very much to him. We also had Wigan. He's on holiday down in Cornwall, having some ice cream, but he was able to join in. He had a bit of a tone difference in his voice, but we were glad he joined us. And Elvin, not sure where Elvin's gone right now, but he.
I have to move. I have to move to kill the podcast. You see, so I'm like, I'm mobile.
Oh, so we got a mobile Elvin. Elvin.
I just give up now. It's like you call us lady boys. It's like your outros are just like it's a lottery. I'm only on the podcast to listen to what you call me. It's fun. It's like I've been a woman, I've been a man, I've been an elf, I've been all things. It's like dress up.
Yeah. All right. So we've had Elvin Thrush as well, who's our technical guy.
Yeah, that is fucked up, that, to be fair. I mean, if I'm your technical guy, you're really screwed. If we're on it, right, you know what I mean?
Weezer, where can we catch you in the World Wide Web?
Yeah, on Twitter at division_stream. Hopefully going to be getting a more dedicated schedule. I will be streaming some NHL 17 this week. Initial reviews that'll be coming out Tuesday. So anybody that's interested in that, on Twitch at the division_stream team. I'm thinking about hopefully maybe making another Twitch that's more dedicated just to me, because obviously when people hear that Twitch name or that, they don't think of me so much.
No.
But yeah, I'm
It
going
could just be maybe you just piss in two directions.
No, definitely. You should definitely have a new Twitch name, especially since I'm looking forward to your retro streams.
Right. Yes. Yeah, we're getting that schedule pinned down as well. So my son will be home on Friday, so we can do that as well. It's good fun. So yeah, just division_stream on Twitter, and I'll be putting more info on that as soon as I figure it out. Thanks for having me. It's been fun.
No. Mr. Elvin Thrush, where can we find you?
Yeah, you can catch me. I'm going to sit everywhere. You might not want to, but you know where it is. But what mainly now is a gamer tag for Xbox, because let's just hope that we can all play together, PC and Xbox, on this Horizon 3.
There we go.
And it's Elvin Rush. Surprise. There's no Lady Gardens, no
Surprise.
nothing like that. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Somebody had me, for God's sake.
And then we've also got Ogaz, who is O_Gaz on Twitter. The same pretty much everywhere else on our Discord. I am Binary. You can find me at Binary Num everywhere. That is literally everywhere, even in your mum's bedroom. Come and join us on the Discord.
Good job, you know, innit?
That's it. Come and join us in our Discord. You know, there's 3,000 gamers in there that are just chatting away, enjoying themselves. Lots of fuckery, lots of memes, lots of gifs, and above all, lots of gaming expertise, and also lots of LFG. So if you're struggling to find a decent group to run with in your normal matchmaking, come into the Discord and team up. We've also got 4 other shows other than this one, which is Chipboard and Chill. We also have JUI, which is Jumping Under the Influence. Those guys are let's say, the older generation of gamers who like to talk about beer, bourbon, and farming simulator.
Yeah.
Then we also have Meet the Streamer, which Weezer has definitely been a guest on. That name is possibly changing, just to let you know that it may be the Green Room, maybe. But that's a show where you can come and meet all the latest content creators, all the high-end YouTube creators as well. Then we've also got the Armory, which is everything for your skills, builds, everything you could imagine division. And then we also have Engage, which is your news, reviews, and everything gaming across all platforms. So if you've got anything you want to let us know, just send us a message on Discord and we'll make sure it's brought up in any of our casts. And we look forward to seeing you next week. Take care.
See you later.
See you later.
No, I'll show you a ball pit. You want to come and play on my inflatable?